Hello, tubers. This is Kurt and George with Edibles and Exotics, coming to you from sunny Gold Canyon, Arizona. Today is December the 17th, 2023, and this is going to be the final yard update for George's yard for the year of 2023. So we're going to take you around here, and George is going to tell you what's going on with his yard, and you can see the before and after if you watch the previous videos. Yeah. So you ready, George?
Ready.
Let's do it.
Welcome back, everybody. So, side yard, not much has gone on here in the way of trees or fruit or anything, but Kurt shows you here, there's a project going on. I'm gonna fill all that in with pavers, and then a greenhouse is gonna go probably right around this area.
That's the idea behind the pavers, huh?
Yeah.
I was wondering why you were doing that.
It's gonna be the foundation. And then February, when her parents are here, Dad's gonna help me put a door in on the side here that goes into another seedling room that I have in the garage. So that's the plan. I really want to get the carnivorous plant nursery going. So
yeah,
that's
gonna be really cool.
Yeah. So bamboo. This thing started out with basically like 2 shoots that were about yay tall. Now I think I have like 9 or 10 shoots down here. And I don't know, can't find much information on how these grow, but it seems like they've been growing up. The shoots go like straight, and then you come out one day and then the shoots like bent over like a horseshoe. And then it kind of, you come out the next day and it's kind of curling, and it kind of curls and curls, and this one's kind of curled its way back up, but not straight. So I don't know with this variety if there's some type of special growth pattern to it. I'll have to ask Alan the next time I see him. This is a low quat. Found that one at Lowe's for like half off. So couldn't pass them up. I think it's the gold nugget variety.
And we got a jackfruit coming up over here.
Well, I planted him there, but he's gonna have to come up. It's a seedling. I was trying out a bunch of seeds, and that's one of the seedlings, and here we are mid-December. And I planted him in probably mid-July. Hasn't died. Hasn't thrived, but hasn't died. So
that's cool.
I want to see how long I can keep him going.
This is
I'm not expecting much.
The rest of your avocados. So
that is the rest of the avocado.
One trunk going.
Yep. And this is the new growth that came out of it this fall.
Oh wow. Well, 'tis the season for avocado growth.
Poor baby.
Yeah. Hopefully that's a good one. Not just a Haas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to me they all taste the same.
Yeah. This guy here is what,
is
or an ironwood or something?
Mesquite or something. It came up in one of my vegetable garden beds.
Looks a little thorny.
And I let him grow the whole summer, and if he makes it, I'll plant them out in the HOA area over there. My neighbors want some type of trees for, to block the view and for some privacy in their backyard. Yeah. So throw them in the ground there.
All right.
And the Jamaican cherry. Anyone has been watching the channel, I mean, you've seen it this tall, and now, I mean, the thing's got to be 8-9 feet.
It's enormous.
8-9 feet. So, and they said this thing will grow 8 feet in a year, is what Alan said, and he was not lying.
So in your opinion, out of all the trees you got, this is probably the fastest growing?
Yeah. Except that moringa that you gave me.
Yeah.
That one did the same thing, only the moringa might be the same size, might be a little bit taller. We'll see.
Yeah.
But it did it in a shorter amount of time.
Yeah.
So that I put in the ground in July. This I put in the ground in May. So, oh, I was telling you. So I was telling you when I was digging this out, we had rock out to here, and this was all wood chip. And I come over and I hit something and I couldn't get the shovel up, so I backed it out and I found out it was a root coming off of the tree. It came over through the wood chips, hit the rock, made a horseshoe bend, and started shooting off in that direction.
Oh, wow.
So it's shrunken up in diameter, but this is the root. And when I told you it was taller than me, you were shocked.
Jeez.
And then this is another one I had to just cut off because it was coming out sideways.
Yeah. So you cut those off and it didn't even slow the tree down one bit.
Didn't phase it.
Wow. So it's got to have a pretty extensive root system then.
Yeah, I could imagine if that's just what was going off in that direction, what's going this way and this way.
Yeah.
And it seemed to be a feeder root, just like you talk about, and it was just cruising in the nice soft wood chips. It could easily grow, and the minute it hit rock, it's like, nope, going this way.
Wow. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I'm not too worried about, it coming and hitting the wall, because it wants nothing to do with that wall.
It just wants to grow.
And there's no nutrition on the other side of the wall. It's gonna stay right underneath the wood chips. Oh, these are new.
You got 3 moringas going?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, of course, I got these from you.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, when I got them from you, this one was the big one, and this was about a medium-sized one. This guy you had in one of those planter bags.
Yeah.
And what happened is it was over here, we got some wind, and the tree fell over, and the bag stayed straight, and it snapped half of the root off.
Oh, wow.
I thought this guy was a goner, and I was like, I'll plant them and see what happens. And he's survived. But the medium-sized one is actually bigger diameter than him, because the root system was always intact. And I mean, I would like to put them over there, but I don't want to disturb them anymore.
Yeah.
I had one of them that got disturbed, and that thing just gave up and died.
Yeah, transplanting they do not like.
Yeah. So hopefully this guy grows up and casts shade over this whole area.
Yeah. You still have some dragon fruits going over there?
I do. I mean, every now and then you give me a dragon fruit here and there, and I just like, okay, I don't really want to be planting much of anything until I have shade in place. But yeah, I've kind of taken this and just kind of surrounded it with some of the dragon fruit that you've given me.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's doing all right for now.
Yeah.
We'll
we got
see
some
what
new
happens.
growth tips on there.
Yeah. We'll see what happens when summer hits. This is all new growth.
Wow. It's looking good.
Yeah.
The cool thing about them is over winter is when they usually get those giant, thick, fat branches.
Well, this year I went to the Arizona Rare Fruit Growers.
Yeah.
And it was a flop. I only got 2 things, and this was one of them. It was like a nice big chunk for like $10, and that was the Haley's Comet variety.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And then these other 2 I got from you.
Oh, cool. What do you have, a raspberry going in there?
Yeah, blackberry. So not much going on. The blueberry died. The heat killed it.
Yeah.
Yep. And then on to the rest of the yard. All right. So as we go through here, you're going to see darker colored wood chips on top of the bleached out ones. The darker ones are all from the side yard. The closer I got down to the soil, those things became like chocolate brown, rich dirt.
Nice.
Started finding a lot of worms and a lot of isopods down.
Did you bring worms into the yard, or?
A couple of times.
Yeah, okay.
I brought some, just a cup of night crawlers that I bought at Walmart. And then at one point I did seed some red worms.
Okay.
Red wigglers. So I got the two varieties. And as I was doing some gardening the other day, I know that all my garden beds have the red wigglers going through there.
Yeah.
Because every time I would dig a hole, I'd find one. So
as far as you know, there were probably no worms here until you brought them in.
oh no, there were no worms here.
Okay. Well, that's good.
The soil is just like concrete.
Yeah. So your suggestion would be, if you're doing something like this in an area like this, to just go to Walmart and get some cheapo fishing bait worms.
Once you get your mulch down.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't try to introduce them to the soil that we have here. They won't even make it into the soil.
So when you put them down in the yard, did you put them all throughout the yard, or like just dump the cup of worms in one spot and then they just migrated all over?
Actually, I bought a pound of worms from Arizona Worm Farm. And those guys, at that time I had a whole bunch of wood chips down the side here. And I just sprinkled some on the side yard, and then the other side I had the beds already built, and I put some in each bed.
Yeah.
So the rest of this yard I didn't seed with worms or isopods.
Okay.
So,
but you've dug in this yard, in this area, and you found worms, or no? Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I haven't really dug around or had a need to dig around this area, so we'll see. But I do know on the other side, I did not put isopods, but everywhere I dug in the wood chips over there that were getting water, there were isopods.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So those I did not plant. Those just showed up.
Wow. That's cool. So I guess you'll find out after we get our winter rains whether you have worms in here.
Yeah.
Come springtime, when you go to plant something or check on something.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to find out, because that's quite a distance, you know,
yeah,
for worms to travel.
And basically what I've been doing when I find them is actually throwing them in the composter that you gave me.
Yeah.
Because I want to get them in there eating that stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, and as I find them, I'll start moving them throughout the yard, but it's not going to be like this huge. I dump 10 pounds of worms out here. So, but yeah, since the last time you were here, I did put a few things out into the yard.
Yeah, I see the papayas. I don't think those were here the last time.
Yeah, this poor guy, I don't know what the hell's going on with him.
This was the Java plum?
No, this is an Asian pear.
Asian pear, okay.
And he was going gangbusters until the heat.
Yeah.
And the heat really stunted him back, and I don't know if it's damaged him or anything, but...
And that is a grafted tree.
It is.
Yeah, I can see the graft. So
yeah,
down here, this is one of the reasons I'm not a fan of grafted trees.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah,
and I face the graft away from the sun.
They just have issues, and this could be one of them.
If he does, I'll top it here and see what we get out of these two.
Yeah,
and then that way I'll have a shorter tree. But yeah, since you were here last, some of the, actually I didn't get these from you. These I actually grew from seed.
Those were solo or something, I think you said, or?
No, these are just Meridol.
Meridol, regular.
You get at Walmart.
Walmart papayas.
Yeah. And these ones took. I did have a third one. He got blasted by the sun and he got killed.
Yeah. Sugar cane. I going strong.
I just cleaned it out. Took 20 of those out. And turned it all into mulch.
Yeah.
And then this is more sweet potato.
One of the best plants you can grow, right?
Fall hit, and I started cleaning up, Now that whole side yard over here, we go back here, started some of the sweet potato right in the middle. And in those videos that you see in the summer, you've seen it grow. It got to the point where there was just a blanket of green, and the only walkway was right here. And then the rest of it pushed up against the house and started growing up the side of the house.
Oh, wow.
So, and that was like based on maybe 6 slips.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some killer shade and ground cover.
Yeah, it was. When you had to do anything and you had to walk through it.
Wow.
So, and even this stuff was like that. As we'll get down to the end, I still have some of the sweet potato there, but my wife was actually kind of sad that I started digging it up, because it was like from here, it filled in this whole area, and it came in little segments. You could still see it, but it came out to here. So this whole area, it was a huge ground cover, sea of green. And then in the fall, it just released all these purple flowers.
Yeah.
And you would just look out here and there was just purple everywhere, which is her favorite color. And then there were bees like crazy.
Wow.
So
That's
it really
cool.
brought in the pollinators.
So I guess next year it's going to be a repeat. You're going to do it again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, this is what's growing back from when I pulled it up. So it's already primed and ready to go.
Yeah.
And then another thing, that if you guys ever plant it, you're gonna keep getting it, because some of the roots get big, like a football, and then the others get long. So I would pull a section of roots out, and it would keep pulling up, and then the end of it would be like over here.
Jeez.
So I'm holding the thing up, and we got these long roots hanging down. So I'm sure there's roots that have shot off everywhere down here.
Yeah.
And come springtime, I may get stuff popping up all over.
Oh, that'll
the
be
place.
great. Free plants.
Yeah.
Have you cooked any of the tubers that you've harvested?
I haven't.
No, not yet?
No.
Oh, man. You're in for a surprise. They're so good when you grow them in your yard. So much better than what you buy in the store.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine when I cut into them, and one of them was already, it was had like a big area where it split open.
Yeah.
So I fed that off to the dubia roses, and it just was just like a deep purple on the inside.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
What's
this little guy?
This was in, this was under shade for the summertime, but this is ice cream bean.
Oh, wow.
So
it's really starting to wake up right now. Huh?
Yeah, it is.
New growth.
It is. It got, what sucks is I had it in like a 5-gallon bucket that had holes in the bottom of it, and I learned my lesson. With a 5-gallon bucket, you can't squeeze the sides when you want to get something out. So I had to go in there and kind of lift the thing out, and half the root system fell off.
Oh, no.
So
it set you back a month.
It set me back. I think this guy probably could be about this tall if it didn't have to focus on growing its roots again. But, you know, I keep watching him, and he keeps, like, some of the bottom leaves are crisping up, but then he sends out top growth, and this is like nice and thick and green and glossy. So just keeping a close eye on him, and if we start to move into the chillier weather, like we were just talking, I think by the end of the month it's going to be like 68 degrees and 45 at night.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we've had this whole month. So, you know, today's 80 degrees. That's what, December 17th.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to keep a close eye on the weather, because you do not want some severe, especially at night, like a severe drop in temperature to hit any of these guys. But I have all my provisions inside, and I'm ready to cover them up at the moment's notice. So.
Yeah.
This was my other find at the Rare Fruit Growers. This is the Tiger Panache Babe.
Oh, okay. Let's zoom in on that.
So hasn't done much, but I mean, this is all new growth.
So it was just a little cutting that you got.
Yeah, I think it was $10.
Oh, wow.
Something like that. So couldn't pass that one up. I've been wanting that for particular variety.
Growing up the wall, what do you got there? Or the fence?
This is passion fruit, the Frederick variety.
And it's doing really good. How big was it when you planted it? 12 inches or something,
like,
6 inches?
Like maybe maybe like that tall.
All right.
Coming up from the ground. So it's done all this. In fact, I mean, when you edit this, if you go back and watch your video from February when you were first here, you'll see them.
Oh, okay.
I was actually able to wrap frost cloth around them. And I think they were wrapped up in frost cloth in that video. But yeah, they done all this.
Wow. Yeah, it's looking excellent.
Which I'm actually kind of disappointed, because I watched some videos on YouTube. Now, they weren't in Arizona, but people were showing these things that grow like 30 feet over the course of one summer.
Yeah.
So I was hoping for a little more, but this summer really.
Well, you're also developing your soil, so I'm sure probably a lot of those people had soil that's already well developed, and it's not, like you said, not Arizona. It's not like our soil. So
yeah, because one of those videos, the guy had a chain link fence, and like this thing, like it was probably like the length of this, and one plant like covered up the whole chain link fence over the course of like a spring and summer. So. But I think that was in Southern California.
Yeah.
So much different
nicer
climate. Yeah. This is the Java plum.
Okay.
So another one that was supposed to be a fast growing shade tree, but definitely not as fast as the Jamaican cherry.
Yeah.
And I bought this in May, the same day that I bought the Jamaican cherry. So yeah, he's getting to a point I may have to stake him, just to protect him from falling over.
Yeah.
This is a Manila mango.
All right.
And we'll see how he grows out, because he was under shade all summer long.
Yeah.
And he grew up and he hit the top of the shade cloth. And he started growing out sideways.
Mm-hmm.
Both of these sides. So now that I put him out here, where he was growing sideways, he's curled up and it's starting to push the growth up.
Oh, that's good.
We'll have like a little train.
Yeah. I had the same problem with my mangoes too. Whenever I grow them from seed, you always have to stake them.
Yeah.
They get really tall really quick and they want to just fall over and drag on the ground.
Well, that's one thing I learned with Manila is this one I think I got at Home Depot for what they were like $40. And I was like, I got to get a mango at $40, because around here, like all the tropical nurseries, it would be like double the price for that size. And I got them and I'm looking at them and I didn't see a graft in them. And I found out that Manilas are all grown by seed.
Yeah.
So that was a plus. But yeah, as the summer, I mean, I want to say when I got him, he was like maybe that tall. So as the summer came on, he kept pushing growth.
Yeah. So it flushed on about a little over a foot.
Yeah. And he was also stunted because he was in a pot that time.
Yeah.
So now he's been in the ground for like 3 months now, in our nice fall that we had. So I'm hoping that come spring, that root system is ready to send some energy up instead of out.
It should do pretty good. You're going to have to shade protect it though.
Yeah.
Come summer.
Yeah.
Big time. Grow some sweet potatoes up it.
Well, that's why I planted him here, because in the summer, the sun will be up a little taller. And by the time it gets to the really hot time of the afternoon, we've got the mulberry right here. And this mulberry is going to get bigger.
Oh, yeah.
This is probably one of my most prized gifts from Edibles and Exotics. I mean, he wouldn't do it right now, but at the time, he was selling these for $125. And I went to pull out money, and he said, "Nope, your money's no good here." And he gave me this tree. So
I'd probably still do it.
prized possession.
Only for you, though.
Yeah. And I mean, this thing, like I was telling you, I planted it. And let's see, it only had, oh, look at that. This guy came up from all the way down here.
Oh, that's nice. That'll be a nice multi-trunked.
It only had these branches. So these were growing out this way, and he was kind of leaning because that's where all the weight was going. And I got it like mid-July, and this summer was tricky because in July it was super hot, and he's trying to get used to the, putting his roots out into the soil, and leaves are browning, falling off. I'm giving him extra water. Then in August, we cooled off for the first 2 weeks of August, and he started putting on all this growth, and then we heated right back up, and then he started dropping leaves again. I was like super worried about this thing. But by the time September came around and the heat dissipated, this thing just set on all of these leaves and has pushed out all of this new branch growth, and on this side, and it's balanced out, and now it's straight up and down like it was in the beginning. So this guy's going to do great.
Oh yeah, by the end of next summer, this thing is probably going to be 25, 30 feet tall, easily. Because right now, I mean, it's got to be, what, 8 feet tall? Somewhere around there?
Yeah.
7.5, 8 feet tall.
And just like 3 days ago, I did a clean out as I worked my way down here of the sweet potato, and this was like the mother root system was all in one place.
Holy cow.
So like I tell you, like when they send out runner roots, that's what you're talking about. Because this was running through the wood chips.
Wow.
And, trying to seek out a new location for more water.
Looks like a giant turd.
Yeah. But then this was what came out right at the base of the whole thing.
Jeez.
So
how much does that weigh? What do you think? 15 pounds, 20 pounds?
Yeah, 10 to 15, somewhere around there.
It's
Yeah.
got to be pretty heavy. And that's just one pile you got there.
That's just one pile.
We'll show you the others in a minute.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
This is the unknown Italian.
George's unknown white Italian.
Well, I don't know how naming conventions go.
That's what it's
I
called.
think you just kind of took that liberty.
Yep, that's what it's called.
So, yeah, this thing's growing more like a bush.
Yeah.
Every time I come out and look at it, like he's pushing, he always pushes stuff out sideways.
Yeah,
So,
that's good though, because you can grow it and it'll shade itself, but you already have figs started on it too.
I got figs off of here and the
little baby ones going.
Spring, summer, and yeah, this thing pushed edible figs this year. But you and I talked about that. I think it's because it comes from a cutting.
Yeah.
Because figs are supposed to grow on, what, second-year wood?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking if you used a cutting from second-year wood, that's probably why they pushed figs out. But it's weird. This guy powered through the summer, and then kind of towards the end of fall, he started doing this with the leaves.
Yeah, my white Italian has the same thing right now.
But then it like pushes out new growth and everything looks like a brand new fig.
Yeah, I think we had a cold spell and then it got warm again, and mine are all doing the same thing, even at the plant nursery.
Okay.
They started putting out new growth. It's weird. Very odd year for figs this year.
Yeah. And then, another one I got fruit from was the Brunswick. In fact, if we look at him, we got a couple right there, and they're soft.
Oh, wow.
And the birds haven't touched them yet.
That is the best tasting fig right there. Have you eaten any off of that one yet?
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
Handful. I mean, it didn't produce a lot, but
Were they super sweet?
they were super sweet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Brown sugar almost.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said, sweetened cream of wheat.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorites.
What's funny is you and I, when it comes to figs, we always talk about the birds.
Yeah.
And they go after the red ones more than they'll go after the green ones. Well, I found out, like, it doesn't matter.
You know, I think they can see the red ones easier when they're flying.
Yeah.
So they'll go to them. With the green ones, they don't see them as easy. But once they find them, I think they tell all their friends. And it's like a feeding frenzy.
Well, what I watched a bird one day. So I just sat in the window and I saw some shadows flickering out here. And there was a bird down at the bottom of the tree on the ground. What he did was he could see all the figs. He would go up to each fig. He'd go to the bottom of it, hit it. If it was hard, he'd move to the next one. When he found a soft one, he went to town on it.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it doesn't matter what color. Like they'll go and look for the soft fig.
Once they know they're there, that's it.
And then
game over.
Later on in the year, when I would be looking through and I'd find a soft fig and I would pull it, the side that was closest to the tree was all eaten out in the backside. Like,
You know me, I love figs so much. I'll cut the chewed up part out and eat it anyway. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll get to that point.
Yeah.
And outside of my office window is Peruvian apple cactus. Well, it went to flower this year and it set some cactus. And one of them was like this big. It's turning that pinkish red, and I kept looking at it. And then one day, Shannon and I were out front, and I look at it, and there's this giant hole in it.
Oh, man.
And I was like, damn.
You know, the Peruvian apple cactuses, it's like they wait all night, and first thing in the morning, they go for it. Because I've done the same thing. You go out at like 10 o'clock, and they already got to it. And the night before, it wasn't eaten.
And I think it was the next day. I'm sitting in my office and I look out the window and there's a cactus wren hanging off of the cactus with his, stuck his beak in and he like hollowed the thing out. And he was looking for any scrap that was in there. And I'm sitting there looking at him going, you know what? We grow these things so that we could have a tasty snack.
Yeah.
And this guy is eating this thing because he has to. Like, this is survival for him. And he is trying to get every scrap out of that he can. So I was like, go for it.
Until you find out your neighbor has a bird feeder and he's just going for a tasty snack.
Yeah, the bird feeder is my yard.
So what's right behind you?
So behind this right here, another passion fruit.
This right here.
We got the flower there.
Look at that.
This one, I was telling you, like 2 out of 3 bounced back. This one got blasted by the summer, and I mean, we still have yellow leaves. We didn't get any kind of growth to fill in the center. It has all this green growth out on the periphery of it. But yeah. And I'm going to take some of those cuttings that I have in the garage growing out, and I'll probably put another one right here, and then put another few along these empty areas to fill everything in. So, and then, but I mean, the other ones are doing so well.
Yeah, and you even got some on the other side of the fence too.
Yeah. So we've got some fruit on there. Still in the green stage. Yeah. We keep looking. I mean, yeah, there's some on this side. There's some on the other side.
Yeah, you can see them through the screen here.
Shannon and I were over there the other night. She was pulling all kinds of loofah off the thing, which you'll see in a minute. But where I'm standing here, all this brown area is where I pulled the last batch of sweet potatoes out of. So all this was a sea of green, just like right over here.
So all these brown wood chips, they were underneath.
Yeah.
And then all these light tan
Yeah,
were out in the open sun getting bleached.
they got bleached. Yep.
Huh. Pretty interesting.
And it's also, a lot of it is just the leaf litter from, like, these ones are looking better than what I just pulled out, but these ones were starting to really crisp up and brown up.
Yeah,
because of the cold, which is funny. Like, they took the summer like it was nothing.
Yeah.
120 degree weather like it was nothing, but it, chills out a little bit and they start,
well, now's the time to
back.
plant white potatoes if you want to do that.
Actually, one of my beds, I have some coming up that I missed last year. Maybe they were like really small and I just missed, and they got vegetation starting to come out. So
cool. What's this little guy right here before we move on?
that is a kumquat.
Oh,
Miwa,
it's one of my
kumquat.
favorite citrus.
Yeah, mine too.
I only like the sweet kumquats, though. I don't like
This
the
one, I
sour
don't-
ones.
This one, I believe, was grafted.
Yeah, most of
And
them are.
what I'm worried about is it got hammered in the summertime, and the graft was actually right here.
So you
And
think that may be a
it got
sucker?
hammered back, and this might be a sucker.
Oh, no. So it's probably going to be a bitter orange or something like that then.
yeah, I'll see what happens. I mean,
Yeah.
this spring, I like kumquats so much that I'll probably go buy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get one in the ground and have it producing instead of waiting for it.
Yeah. All right, here's one of your pride and joys right here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, you gave me this the same day that you gave me the mulberry. This was just a moringa, and when I planted it, he was probably this tall.
So about a foot
Maybe,
or so.
maybe a foot and a half
All right.
out of the ground. And got so big so fast, I had to grab one of these tree stakes.
Wow.
That they have them on all the trees in this new community. And there were some trees in the park that fell over. And I was like, I'll grab those stakes. So, but yeah, he would, I have him tied right here. When I tied that, he probably came up to here.
Oh, wow.
And has just kept going.
Are you eating the leaves,
So-
the flowers, anything?
I've eaten some of the leaves.
No flowers yet?
No, none of the flowers yet. I mean, I think I tried one.
It tastes pretty
Just to,
good, right?
just,
They get a
yeah,
little
just to
spice
see what the
them.
taste was. I just wanted to leave it alone and let it do its thing. And I didn't want to eat its solar collectors. But I'm just shocked at how fast this one grew.
Yeah.
When,
Well, you know, I think the ones I gave you, they were in those 16-inch nursery bags, the black plastic nursery bags, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I started those, I think last winter, probably around this time, and they sat in the backyard and they got burned back from the frost that we had last winter, and I just let them go and they all resprouted. So that's like a resprouted one that died and then grew over the whole summer.
more mature root system.
It could, yeah,
Yeah.
because, you know, they get that gigantic, you know,
Yeah.
knot of a root on.
That's what I was so worried about that other one, because when it fell and that bag bent,
Yeah.
and it just snapped right in half,
Wow.
the root. I was like, root damage.
Yeah, I mean, they always throw a fit. Honestly, like, when they throw a fit like that, I'll lose like maybe 50% of them. But the other 50% just grow back. As long as they have a little bit of a green stem, they're good. So
That, and then we know this is sweet potato. This is the next batch to come out. This is the gold nugget mandarin. It's doing a lot better. I need to do some cleanup on them. I think those are sucker growth. Let's see, right at your feet there is the peach. I cannot wait for January, February.
you had peaches off of this too. I
had
think
peaches
the last
off.
time I was
Yeah,
here.
it was amazing.
And that's Bonanza
Like-
peach.
Bonanza, yep.
All right.
This was like to me, the award winner of the year as far as figs are concerned, because I got him maybe last February, and this is Violet de Bordeaux. And it was, if you come here, this is what it looked like. It was a few of these sticking up out of the ground, and it sat there, a sleeper like that, for all the spring. And it got some, you know, some green growth and everything. It got leaves, but it just sat that small. And then for some reason, this September, the light switch flipped on. And I mean, I would come out and it would be bigger and bigger. And like these guys, I just can't believe that it did this from September till now. Wow. You know, just going from like some little stick like this. So we'll see.
And it's got figs all over
Oh,
it.
yeah. Yeah. Now, these ones are hard.
Have you eaten any?
It started setting them on this fall.
Yeah.
It didn't set them before.
So it's going to be a breeder crop in the spring then.
Yeah.
Have you tried any figs off of this one yet or not yet?
No, it hasn't got to that point.
All right.
And I don't know anyone that has this variety.
Yeah.
So even though it's a more popular variety, I just don't know a lot of people that grow figs.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see, because this is really more of a bush style, similar to the George's Unknown Italian.
Yep.
And behind us is a nectarine.
It's not looking too good.
No, like ever since the summer, that heat of the summer, the leaves never really bounced back like the peach one did. So I'll keep my fingers crossed. And then we got lemongrass and a couple of hibiscus.
Oh, what's behind you? Can't leave this guy out.
Oh, loofah. This is a seed from Edibles and Exotics. One seed turned into this.
And it's full. Absolutely
yeah,
full of loofahs.
I thought during the summer this thing was going to die. It was turning brown. Anytime a flower would set, it would just fry off of it so fast it couldn't get pollinated.
Wow.
And the minute it started cooling down, the flowers came out, the bees were all over it.
So that's the flower and the loofah forming.
Yep. And then we have loofahs everywhere. And they're all on the other side too. So, and it's a hit. My wife loves this. She hasn't even used any of the loofahs.
Yeah. Well, they make good presents. That's what I did last year. I gave them away as Christmas presents.
She's giving them to people at work, and you know, she tells them about them, and they're, oh, I want one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know most people, and the funny thing is most people think it's like a sea sponge. They're like, what do you mean you grew it?
Yep.
They're like, it's a gourd. Mm-hmm. Have you tried eating any yet?
No.
No? Are you going to try?
I've heard they're edible, like, but
they're the size of like a small pickle.
Maybe like this.
That size, yeah. Because they don't develop that skeleton.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is like
soft
and squishy. Yeah.
Yeah. You could eat it like a regular gourd, apparently, like a zucchini or something like that, or.
That's what they look like.
Yeah, from what I heard, people add them. Okay, not a zucchini, like a squash. They add them to dishes and eat them that way.
I've never even felt one of the smaller ones. Yeah.
You should try eating it and let me know how it is.
All right.
On camera.
Nah.
Raw.
And little cactus area. These are Peruvian apple. Mm-hmm. This is I guess there's different varieties.
There are, yeah. Some have spikes, some don't.
This is the one that I have in my front yard. This was a little piece that fell off of them. These two are the ones you gave me.
Those are off of mine in my front yard.
Yeah, and you can actually see the new growth, like the discoloration.
Yeah, it's got the blue tip.
Yeah. That's all new growth.
Yep, and those are deadly. Don't even touch them. When they stab you, it hurts. Ugh. I've gotten stabbed a million times.
And when this one grows, this was the original growth. It sinks in, puts on new growth, sinks in, puts on new growth.
You're going to regret
Yeah.
planting those, or at least the ones I gave you.
Ah. we'll just hack them off and we'll sell them at
There you
Edibles
go.
and Exotics.
So what is this one here?
That is bilberry.
That is
Bilberry
bilberry,
cactus.
Yep. Where'd you get that sucker?
Edibles and Exotics.
Awesome.
This one was actually really, really pushed off onto me. I kept telling you no, and you're like, oh, go ahead, pass up a $50 cactus.
Yep.
So, yeah, another one that, I mean, you can see like right here, this is a different shade of green, and then this growth is more of a grayish color. So that's all the new growth since you gave them to me.
Wow. And then you got what back there?
We got the totem.
A totem.
Edibles and Exotics.
The first one kind of got cooked, right?
Yeah, first one got fried. It was a lot smaller, and it just turned black and just shriveled up.
Yeah.
And San Pedro.
That one looks familiar too.
Yep. And then obviously that's the new growth on that thing.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
I only have 2 of those left too.
Oh, people have been buying them?
No,
Or,
I only have 2
you
left.
just have 2 left. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. They're a pretty desirable cactus, but I haven't really advertised them that much. So
This is the jujube. This is actually the only tree in my yard that has really turned yellow and is losing its leaves.
wow.
So deciduous action hit him first.
Oh yeah.
That was the lone jujube that was on there.
Grow the seed, George.
Give it to you. You can grow it. No, they say growing these by seed. Like if you plant 10 of, actually, you can see a bird hit this thing. Bird's gotten in there.
Oh yeah.
They say like maybe 2 to 3 out of 10 seeds will actually make it into a plant.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why they don't do it by seed. And Black Madeira.
All right.
Edibles and Exotics. Yeah, this guy, want to say, like, I planted him in the ground, he's like around this tall.
Yeah.
So he's put on all this growth.
And then a bunch of little branches in the bottom.
Yeah, a bunch of these started coming out the bottom.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
So
it's looking good.
I was like, maybe those will come up and shade the trunk.
Yeah. But these were tissue cultures, so you may be waiting another year or 2 or 3
Yeah, I don't care.
for fruit, but still pretty cool.
Doesn't bother me. And then the garden area, this is, God, I can't remember it's not raspberry, it's not blackberry, boysenberry.
Okay.
This is boysenberry. He got fried back during summer, but not as bad as the blackberry.
Yeah.
I had a blackberry over here. He got decimated. But this guy actually, as we cooled off into the fall, all of this is from the fall. So as he puts on new growth, I'm just trying to kind of bring it up and weave it around and get it all through here.
All right.
This one will be interesting.
What is this?
We'll come over to the back side. This is the African horned melon.
All right.
You look right here. I planted these more as a novelty. Because you go to Sprouts and they'll be selling these for $5 or $6 a piece.
Wow. What do they taste like?
It tastes like a cross between a melon and a cucumber. And when you cut them open on the inside, when they're ripe, they're like yellow. The outside's yellow. You cut them open and the inside's almost like a neon green color.
Oh, wow.
And it's a bunch of seeds encapsulated in a gel. and it's that gel that's the green color, and that's where your
So it's kind of like a passion fruit
taste
almost.
is coming from. So, yeah, very similar
Wow,
to a passion fruit.
that's kind of weird.
But yeah, these things are, I mean, when I read about them, I read that, I mean, they're African horn melon, and everybody says they do well in desert areas. But yeah, I couldn't believe, like, as I dig through here, I just keep coming across them.
Wow.
And this is how they start out. There's the flower right here, and then this is what the fruit behind the flower looks like.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm in a race for time right now. This is my first year growing them, and I don't know the ripening process on these guys, and I don't know if the plant itself will get killed by the cold or the frost.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Hopefully next year or summer isn't so crazy, because this is yet another one that got really stunted by the extreme heat that we had.
Yeah.
So if we have what we would call a normal year, maybe this thing just keeps going strong through the spring, through the summer, and we'll see what the full life cycle of it really looks like.
Cool.
And the rest of this, nothing like really new. I mean, my melons are still in play. I can't believe it. Like, I got watermelons. There's another one down there,
Some eggplants.
right by your feet here.
Yeah.
Eggplants are going
another
strong.
melon all the way over here.
Yeah,
Wow.
that one. Yeah, there's an eggplant hanging down over here.
Yeah, there's some big ones
Big
over there.
right here.
Eggplants are great in Arizona.
They're still in play.
Anyone that wants to grow something vegetable-wise, eggplants are pretty damn good.
And they're a perennial. So I hear most perennials here last about 5 years.
Yeah,
And they
I've
say
had mine in the ground 2 years now.
At about 4 years, they'll start petering out. And by the 5th year, they're pretty much done.
Yeah.
So they say that's for eggplant, peppers, and okra are all like that. Like, you can keep them in the ground for up to about 5 years. So I like that. I don't like I just got done putting seedlings in all of these beds. So that's the annual stuff that's just that tedious pain in the butt.
Oh, yeah.
But back here, this is the Chicago Hardy fig. I think the last time you were here and we were looking at it, it was like down to here.
Yeah.
So it's putting on.
And it looks like you're starting to get figs on it, too.
Really?
Yeah, there's a little fig right there.
Because this is tissue culture. This was last year at Lowe's, like when springtime hit. Lowe's and Home Depot carried these little plants in these kind of like tubes.
Yeah.
And they had, this fig was like $10.
Oh, wow.
So, but then I found out that they're all tissue culture. So, I mean, to me, it's not a bummer. I mean, you wait a little bit longer for fruit.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
That's fine.
Yeah. And then behind you, that is called a dwarf tamarillo. And I don't know, it's another one. I don't know if it'll last through the winter, but
It's got some flowers on it right there.
they produce these little fruits, like almost like berry-sized fruits that are supposed to have like a peachy flavor.
Oh, wow.
So I got a bag of seeds of them in there, and you know, if it tastes good and does good, then I'll maybe plant out some flats for you.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Get those going. But it's supposed to be like I don't really know the big difference. I know in South America they have tamarillos, which they call them tree tomatoes.
Yeah.
And this is a dwarf tamarillo, but it's not a tomato. It's like this little berry fruit. So I don't know where the line of delineation is there, but
Yeah.
you know. Of course, we got the chaya,
Oh man,
And I told you it's as tall as the block wall, and it is exactly
it really
as tall
is.
as the block wall.
Like even, dead even.
Yeah, and it. My wife just always, you know, she always forgets what the stuff is, and she's always asking me about this. And I told her that's the chaya. And the nice thing about it is I have never touched it. I haven't pruned it. It just grows perfectly pruned.
Oh yeah, they're even if you're not going to eat it, it's still just a beautiful tree.
Yeah, it's amazing to look out the window at from the kitchen or from the living room.
Just perfectly self-trimming. Have you eaten any of the leaves yet?
No, not yet.
Chicken?
Haven't done a thing. Well, you got to cut them, or I mean, not cut them, cook them.
Yeah.
So I just need a day where I have some time. And
Yeah,
what I wanted to do is like, because the roaches as well is. You have to cook these leaves to get the minute amount of cyanide out of the leaves, but then you're left with this big sopping mass of leaves that you've just boiled down, and that's a good source of water as well.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be like super, super nutritious. I've watched several of the videos I watched on people cooking them. They cook them, eat them that way, or they turn them into a powder.
Yeah.
And they were helping in that video. They were helping their son with whatever condition he had. But
people also use, after you boil it, they use the water as a tea.
oh, okay.
I don't know how good that would be drinking
Yes,
spinach
and-
water, but
Well, plus I guess maybe it's the heat that kills the cyanide.
it evaporates it out. It basically gases
okay.
out, from what I understand. Yeah.
Because you're drinking water that you're trying to get rid of the cyanide in it. Or?
Yeah. No, it's the steam is how it exits the everything. So, but yeah, chaya tea. It's a thing. I haven't tried it yet. I don't know. It didn't really sound too appetizing, but
Yeah.
hey, you never know.
All right, and then the rest of it is just, like I said, all seedlings. I did some cauliflower, broccoli, beets. There's some collards in here. Did some peas. In these beds, like this bed right here is all going to be lettuce and arugula. But I had such a successful sprouting that I had a whole bunch of lettuce and arugula left over from planting that out. So they're all planted, interspersed throughout everything. All this is, everything you see that looks like this is garlic. Swiss chard, green Swiss chard, and reds. Over here we got some okra. Gonna leave that in place, and this was hatch chili pepper. I'm just gonna leave them, see how they do during the winter. They should come back. And here is the white potatoes I told you that were just starting to, voluntarily come up.
Oh yeah, they're looking pretty good.
Yeah. Those are some carrots that survived. This I gotta completely dig up. This is a sweet potato bed. But at the height of it all, I mean, the sweet potato vines completely covered this and were growing into this bed. And this whole area in here was all covered up.
Wow.
In vines. And then it actually was creeping over and getting into this bed.
Jeez.
So, goes crazy. Over here, I planted, those are artichoke. And then the one all the way at the end is the tree collards that you gave me.
Oh, those are the seeds.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This is a spinach bed, kale. And this is, I believe this is the one I gave you. It's one they call walking stick kale.
Uh-huh.
It's a perennial, but it's a tree style. So, like the picture that I saw, I mean, the thing would be up to the roof. And they actually would use the stalks of it as walking sticks. They dry them out and use them as walking sticks. So let's hope that goes gangbusters.
Oh yeah, when we do the spring yard update? We'll
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
What do you got back here?
Back here we got more artichoke, more tree collard, and the good old Mesa compost bin.
All right, and you wrapped it in plastic. Nice.
Oh yeah. Keep that humidity in there.
Yeah.
And what's funny is like sometimes when I'm watering it down, like there's a big hole back here, and this whole area fills up with water.
Yeah.
Slowly trickles out. So
That's good.
It does
good.
keep
Yeah.
that
Keep it moist.
humidity in there. So this is another moringa that you gave me that was going gangbusters, and then like I don't really something happened to this when I was setting this up, and it didn't get watered for like 2 days, and it threw a hissy fit and it died. I mean,
But it's still green at the bottom.
yeah.
So
It's
it
weird.
may come back.
Okay, it's getting watered. Yeah, this is spraying out and hitting the base of both of these. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's
We'll
still got a green base. It may come back.
yeah.
You never know. If not, we'll grow you another.
Yeah. It's not like we don't have seeds or
Yeah.
plant material. So that's pretty much where we're at in December.
Cool.
I know you've asked me like what I plan on planting, and honestly, this last year, the one lesson that that you taught me, that Alan taught me, and that just the yard itself taught me was shade.
Yeah.
Shade. So my focus for this year is just what I have in the ground for shade, to get it growing out, actually producing shade, and IDing other areas that need shade.
Yeah.
And as far as fruit goes, the only tree that I really would like to get in the ground this year would be star fruit.
Yeah. What you need shade for.
Yeah. So
Not so much now, but come summer.
yeah.
Yep.
So that's where we're at for this year.
Awesome.
And you're always welcome back. So all throughout 24, we can see.
Oh yeah, I can't
what
wait
happens.
for springtime. I can't wait to see what happens at the end of the summer. That's going to be really cool.
Yeah, but go back and just check out. You don't have to watch all the way through the video because it's an hour long, but check out the video from February and just look at the yard. Just look at it and then watch this video and
Yeah.
like, whoa.
Well, all these videos are going to be in a series on your yard, so if people want, they could watch the first one.
Oh,
the
you can
second
do like
one.
a playlist on your channel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that way they could see the growth, and they know what to expect if they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the whole point to doing your yard, so people actually get a realistic view, not some BS view that someone shows them and it's just all fake and made up.
Yeah, the two things, if anyone could learn from what I've done, I just gave you number one, and that's shade. But number two is mulch.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just, I don't even know if you could do one or two, which is more important, shade or mulch. The mulch is going to keep your root system cool, which is super important. But then you also need the canopy cool, which is where the shade comes in. So get some mulch down. That's what I would recommend anyone do first. Get the mulch down, and then get the shade trees in there. And that could be your moringas. That could be your mulberries. What we're quickly learning are the Jamaican cherries.
Yeah.
Jamaican cherries, though, like those. This is going to be our first year experiencing what winter does to a Jamaican cherry.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what takes place there.
Especially out here, because you're in a pretty unprotected area.
Yeah.
Everything's pretty open and new here. So
Yeah, there is actually a gardening group on Facebook for Gold Canyon area, and last week people were posting their thermometers in their backyard that are actually down at ground level, and they were getting into the 30s.
oh wow.
Even though you could look on your phone and see, oh, it's 45 in Gold Canyon.
Yeah.
Not in your microclimate.
Yeah. And especially if you're in a lower lying area, it's going to get colder.
Yeah.
Like your yard's a little up higher than that park behind your house. I bet if you go to the
Yeah.
park,
We took a walk
gonna be
the
a lot
other
colder.
night, and it was about this time, sun was setting, and we went off and onto a trail that way, and there was a part that dipped down, and I said, "Did you just feel that thing drop like 10 degrees?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's cold out." And I was like, "Yes, the cold air just settles in the lowest part."
Yeah. So you might get away with it since the park is behind your house. It might be a little bit warmer in your yard. Yeah.
Seeking out the park.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. So, yep. Anyone going into this, don't even be thinking about fruit your first year. Think about shade and mulch. You know, the mulch is going to get those shade trees established and get them growing, and then you can plant your fruit trees in the shade.
Yeah. And the mulch is also going to help build the soil.
Yeah. Because I lost, the big losers of this year were banana and dragon fruit.
Mm-hmm.
I lost all my bananas and I lost all the dragon fruit.
Yeah.
Dragon fruit just turned into snot in this heat.
Oh yeah, yellow,
Like
and then
this
brown.
yellow oozy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Mine were all pretty much in full shade all summer, and that's the only way they made it through. So
Yeah. And another, like, I don't say number 3, but another layer that you could put into your, if you're thinking in the terms of permaculture and layering, the sweet potato. I mean, that is another layer that is above your mulch that is keeping the root system of your trees nice and cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to walk through quite a bit of my yard this year, quite a bit of the sweet potato. And as you sink your foot in there, you can feel a definite temperature difference from where the leaves were hitting you and where the sun was hitting you.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So, that's the tour. Everybody come on down. I mean, if you want to get any of this stuff, aren't you going to start to grow out sweet potato slips so that people can come get them from you?
I was, yes.
Yeah.
That is the plan.
Because the truth is they are so easy to do. Some people don't want to take the time to do it.
Yeah.
So we'll provide it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At a very cheap price.
Yeah.
You know, I think this summer I'm going to focus a lot on permaculture supply. So there's a lot of trees that are very popular in permaculture, but yet no one in the valley grows.
Okay.
Commercially, at least, to sell to the public. So, you know, I think that's going to be a big thing with my business.
What are some of the names on those?
You know, like Lucina. No one grows Lucina out here. If you watch any of
Jeff Lawton.
Jeff Lawton, yeah.
Yep.
Watch any of his videos. I mean, that's like one of his number one plants. You know, it's a legume. It's supposedly nitrogen fixing. It's a chop and drop, sacrificial. So, you know, a lot of people don't grow that here.
No.
And no one sells it here from what I could find.
One thing I was shocked at is quite a few places sell that Tipuana Tipu.
Yeah.
That he grows that a lot too.
Yeah.
And
here it's pretty much grown as like a desert hardy kind of accent shade tree.
Yeah.
I don't like them at all.
Yeah.
They're not my deal, but some people do for whatever reason. But yeah, stuff like that I'm going to start growing. You know, we got probably about 100 vetiver grass starts going right now. I have them available if someone wanted them, but that's another one. It's a huge permaculture grass that no one sells here.
Yeah.
So that was donated to me by Pam over at Pam's Garden in AJ. And
Pam, I watched my mouth on this episode. Nothing slipped out.
Same here. But yeah, that's another one that no one grows. And I sold a few of them already. They're great for erosion control, wind breaks. They're self-mulching. They're very drought resistant after they're established. They get roots that go down into the ground 30 feet, which I'm sure you know. So, you know, they're sterile. They don't spread by seed. So, you know,
that's cool.
Plants like that. I mean, I can keep going on.
So it's not going to become invasive.
No, not at all. Yeah,
sweet.
It's not an invasive
Didn't know that
species.
about it.
Yeah. The only way it's going to spread is if you break it off and plant a piece in the ground or dig up roots and replant it. So, yep, they're sterile.
Wow.
So, but, you know, stuff like that we're going to start selling, you know, try to get some permaculture supply going because there's no nurseries around here doing permaculture supply. You know, there's landscape nurseries, there's tropical fruiting nurseries and
Cactus
nurseries, but there are no permaculture nurseries. So I think we're going to start branching off
get
into
a
that.
niche. Yeah.
You know,
Get a niche market going.
Yep. And we've also done a lot of market research, and we're going to have a lot of odd plants that no one else is selling. So
that's why I really want to learn this life cycle of this horned melon. I mean, to me, it's intriguing, but I mean, I have a packet full of seeds in there.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, like, I'm not going to need that whole packet of seeds. So if I could start growing out trays of starts that maybe we could sell at your place.
Yeah, that'd be excellent.
Yeah, no one else carries it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you
That's
that.
another thing I want to get into also is, you know, some rare vegetables and melons and stuff like that no one else has.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well,
can't wait for the new year.
Yeah, same here.
Good. See you all at the nursery.